It's Albert Prince Bell, 21-0 checking in, and you rocking with keeping it real sports, and we.
Saturday morning, we ready to rock. I'm back. I'm in a cat seat tonight. I'm ready to go. I'm a real sports guy, Steve Taylor. He is the Sandman, Andy Sanzada. Talk to me, Sandman.
Steve Taylor, welcome back. We missed you last week, but Jeff did a great job filling in, and we're actually going to bring Jeff in later in the show. We got.
Yeah, you know why? You know why? Because see, I like his astute analysis. In hockey, the man knows what he's talking about. I like how he gets right to the point, and then the other reason is because he agrees with me.
I knew you'd like
That's
that
why.
part. But
we got a big show planned for you today, man. We've got quick hitters, man. We've got the hurry up. We've got basketball. We've got our cup running over. We've got a big show, Andy. Man, let's get to what we call the quick hitters.
Let's do it.
Quick hitters.
All right, Steve. Well, it's hard to believe it's already the end of the French Open, but we've got the women's final and the men's final set. First of all, right now, as we speak, this match is taking place live. Iga Swiatek tries to tie the record for most consecutive match wins with Venus Williams at 35. She'll take on the American Coco Gauff in her second major final, first French Open final. Steve, Coco only lost one set coming into the final, but Iga's on a hot streak. This should be a hell of a final, my friend.
Yeah, Iga, the number one player in the world, she's really on the streak. But I'm gonna tell you what, Nikita, even though Iga is the heavy odds-on favorite, I like Coco's chances. Coco has to serve well. Coco is serving over 70% for the tournament. She's going to have to continue that. And then what she does is she moves her opponent side to side. That's going to be her key to victory today, moving the number one player in the world. I'm going for Coco Gauff.
Yeah, and then in the men's final, we've got Mr. French Open himself, right? So he'll go for his 14th French Open title against Casper Ruud. And Steve, this is frustrating to me because Zverev was playing really well yesterday. He had a chance to beat Nadal, but once again, injuries. These guys, I don't know what it is with conditioning over the last 5 years, but we keep seeing top-ranked players leave major tournaments because they can't get through it without being injured. It was very disappointing, but at the same time, no surprise Nadal's in the final, right?
Well, it's no surprise that Nadal was in the final, but let's not make a mistake about it. Nadal was being pushed out of his comfort zone. He had won the first set via tiebreak. That second set was going into a tiebreak, and the kid looked like he had Uncle Mo on his side when he had the ankle injury. So, my hat's off to Nadal. I mean, we'll raise another banner because you ain't beating that dude on the clay unless you have a Herculean type effort that kid was putting out yesterday before he went out with the ankle injury. But, it is what it is, man. To beat a man, you got to beat the man, and Nadal is the man.
Yeah, exactly. He almost didn't get there, though, Steve. He had a 5-setter in the quarterfinals. So, let's
almost
see.
on the house counts in horseshoes and grenades, Andy.
I understand that, but he also is battling a little bit of injury himself, brought his own personal doctor to make sure that he gets through the final. So we'll keep an eye on that later today.
Rafael Nadal. That's all I'm going to say.
I know. No, I'm with you. He's going to win. I agree. It'll be number 14. And excuse me, now we got to talk about him as the greatest ever, right?
On clay.
22? I mean,
on
22.
Clay.
That's all I got to say.
He's the man.
All right, let's keep it moving. So Ryan Fitzpatrick calls it a career after a long, successful, what I think was a successful career for the most part. Played for 9 different teams. We only have 8 of them up there because Washington was not necessarily the Commanders when he played with them last year before he got hurt. But Steve, he finished with more touchdowns than interceptions. I call that a successful NFL career.
Okay. The Rams drafted him, so I know a little bit about this guy. I mean, the kid can be a lawyer because we got him out of, he was an Ivy Leaguer.
Harvard. Not just any Ivy League, Steve.
Let's
Harvard.
not make any mistake about it. But, it is what it is, man. You get what you get out of Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's why he's no longer a Ram. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, moving on. The Phillies made a big move yesterday. They fired Joe Girardi after a sub-500 tenure in 2.5 seasons. He finished with the record right there, 132 and 141. I just don't think he has it anymore, Steve. I know he had success in New York, but, today's game's different than the way he used to manage, and I just don't think he does a good job, and I think he belongs back in the broadcasting.
Philadelphia, your team sucked. Your team sucked. You were 82 and 80 last year, didn't make a playoffs. Okay, you got off to a bad start again. Okay, you can't depend on Schwarber and
Harper
hitting home runs twice in every game. That ain't gonna happen, man. I mean, at some point you're gonna have to pitch. I mean, dude, don't blame it on Girardi.
Well,
come on. I mean, I disagree with that. Phillies, you get what you get.
That's the easy way, and that's always been Philadelphia sports, right? They always blame the guy on the top instead of the players that aren't getting it done in the field or on the court or on the ice.
That's what I'm going to tell you. Look in the mirror.
Yeah. All right, well, we talked about it in last week's show, and it happened on Wednesday, the match. Steve, I don't know if you saw any of this, but I don't think you were able to because you had a gig that night. But, man, as a golf fan, this was extremely entertaining, and Aaron Rodgers makes a birdie on the final hole to win the match 1-up. The trash talking wasn't as intense as everybody anticipated, but Tom Brady went after Josh Allen, man. That was really entertaining, and some good digs in there. But listen, I can't like Tom Brady because he went to Michigan, but I like Tom Brady. Okay, I've come around. I respect what he does for professional sports. He handles himself the right way. He's very classy. So I've come around, even though he went to that school. I enjoyed listening to Tom Brady in the match.
He's Tom freaking Brady, man. Stop, man.
I know. All right, speaking of golf, Steve, in Ohio this week, we've got our favorite tournament, the Memorial Jacks Tournament, Rory in contention, and this field is loaded. I know my dad and my wife and I will be watching the end of this one tomorrow. But this is now that Bridgestone is gone or Firestone is no longer there. This is the tournament for the state of Ohio every year, and it looks like we're going to have beautiful weather this weekend. I'm excited.
Yeah. I just hope we don't get a choke job like Scotty Scheffler did on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, that was hard to watch. At least he got to the playoff, though. I'll give him that, unlike Pereira, who just completely
if you're going to choke and die, just do it early.
Exactly. Don't do it in the playoff.
Yes.
Speaking of golf, we got to give the ladies their due, my partner, because it's the U.S. Women's Open weekend. This is one of the women's tournaments I will definitely keep an eye on. I've been watching here and there the first couple rounds. And the Americans, Steve, they've got a chance this year. They're on top of the leaderboard. Harrogate is tied for the lead at 9 under. Lexi Thompson, 3 under. Nelly Corda, 3 under. So some big names on the ladies' side in contention in a major.
Yeah, but we all know that today is moving day, so we'll see what happens today. We hope that they can stay on top. But, they're a great start for the Americans.
Yeah, because of your traveling schedule this week, we didn't have time for Between the Gloves. But we would be remiss if we didn't talk about this guy after what he did last week. He absolutely just destroyed Romero, knocked him out in the 6th round. And, I saw a different angle. I sent you that angle of that video. He kicked his ass. Let's not beat around the bush. He flat out kicked his ass.
Hey, look, let's really look at it because, see, I've had a chance to really break down the fight. And Romero was actually having his way. The subtle adjustments that Tank Davis made in the 3rd round showed me the type of champion that he is. And Romero never really adjusted to the adjustment that Tank Davis made. Now, Tank Davis has been called out by Shakur Stevenson. That is a fight that I would love to see.
Yeah, I'd love to see that one too.
The lightweight division is being heavily disputed right now. We got a great lightweight championship fight tonight that I'm looking forward to. George Kambosos Jr. against Devin Haney from Atlanta, I've had the pleasure of calling a Devin Haney fight up close and personal, so I've seen him. He's a very skilled fighter. I just don't know if he has the goods to beat Kambosos, okay? And I'm going to tell you what, as we give you an impromptu between the gloves, I just got word that we're very close. Andy, we are very close to the signature of a Terrence Bud Crawford and Earl Spence fight. Look forward to that. If that happens, that is going to happen in October. But this is very close to going down, people.
All right. All right, Steve. So that's going to do it for quick hitters. Let's just jump right from there, and let's hurry it up, man.
Hurry up.
Man, this time of year just makes this show so much easier for us, right? I mean, it's a no-brainer what we're going to talk about to start things, and then we'll bring Jeff in to talk about my cup runs over. But we can't not start with the NBA Finals. I mean, come on now. This is a great matchup, I think, for basketball fans in general. I think ratings-wise, it's going to be good. But, Steve, the Celtics go in and steal Game 1 in Golden State, 120-108. Jason Tatum stepping up, Jaylen Brown, and how about Grandpa Horford, right? Al Horford was the only player in the history of the NBA to not make the NBA Finals after playing 140-plus playoff games until this year. And, Steve, I saw a lot of passion and a lot of determination in that man the other night. And I think he was the reason that they were able to flip things in the fourth quarter.
You think? Here's the thing that I told you. When I started breaking down this series, because, I kind of foresaw this matchup happening, I said that the length and the stout defensive nature of the Boston Celtics was going to be a problem for the Warriors. They have not had to deal with this type of animal. And what they're doing is they're trying to get away with the small lineup, they being the Warriors. They're trying to get away with the small lineup that they've been able to get away with. Boston's got a bigger lineup, and they're going to punish you. And Boston is taking advantage of the one inferiority that the Warriors have, and no one else is taking advantage of. Punish them on the inside. They're going to make Draymond Green, and they're going to make Kevin Looney shoot from the outside, and then we're going to double down on everybody else. We're going to blitz Steph Curry. We're going to blitz Cassius Clay Thompson. We're going to blitz Jordan Poole. We're going to get you off the spot. We're going to blitz Andrew Wiggins. Man, we're going to get the ball out of your hand and move the ball. That's what you're going to see. And look here, man. Don't say they stole Game 1 because they won Game 1. Let me remind you that.
That's fair. I mean, I'll give you that. The only reason I said stole was because it was on the road and because everybody, including myself, had Golden State winning in 6. When that happens, you assume they take Game 1. I will say this, though, and I know you don't agree with me on this, and that's okay. That's why we have two different perspectives. I think that Golden State had a little too much time off, and you're going to see a different Game 2 tomorrow night. That's all I'm going to say.
Golden State was doing Golden State things, okay? They were shooting the basketball. They had another typical Golden State third quarter, okay? The difference is Boston didn't back down and go away where the other teams have. Okay?
And Boston has the ability to answer them at the three-point line, unlike a lot of the other teams they faced in the Western Conference playoffs.
And here's what should scare the hell out of you if you're a Golden State fan. In the first round, the Boston Celtics, they defeated the Nets, and Durant were doing Durant-type things. In the second round, they defeated Giannis when Giannis was doing Giannis-type things, and Jason Tatum, he stepped up and he met the Bulls. In the third round, Jimmy Butler was doing Jimmy Butler-type things, and Jason Tatum outdueled him. Okay, this here game, Steph Curry was doing Steph Curry-type things, and Jason Tatum only had 12 points. Well, that should scare the hell out of you.
Yeah,
and
that
they still won.
But to your point about Tatum answering the call, let's take a look at what we've put together as our top 10 players in the NBA Finals. All right, Steve, let's start with number 1, and you've got Tatum ahead of Steph Curry. A lot of people that are looking at this are like, are you kidding me? We're talking about the greatest shooter ever. We're talking about a 3-time NBA champion, but we're talking about this series specifically, not the history of their careers. right?
Impact. We're talking about impact of the game.
And that's why you've got Tatum at 1. Now, obviously, you have to put Curry at 2. And Jaylen Brown, 3. And we've got Draymond at 4. And I think that's just because of his competitiveness, right?
Well, what he means to that team, man.
Yeah,
he is the heart and soul of that team.
That's Klay Thompson at 5. You've got Marcus Smart and Al Horford, back-to-back Celtics at 6 and 7.
Yeah,
you and I kind of toyed around with the fact we could have easily switched that up and put Horford ahead of Smart, especially after what we saw in Game 1. But we're going to stick with this for now. Jordan Poole, in a lot of people's minds, should have won Most Improved Player over Ja Morant. Not mine. I think Ja Morant was the right choice. But and then Wiggins has had a career year. And we've got the Williams connection. We couldn't put them both in there. We had to put them both in there, I should say, at number 10.
Because of the effect that they have on the game.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You got Grant Williams, who can knock down threes. You got Robert Williams, who can play defense, block shots, rebound, and set up their offense, and, screens, draw charges, things like that. So we had to put them both in there. So I'm sure we'll get some debate on this after the show airs.
No debate. I mean,
okay.
Jason Tatum is a superstar. Did you watch my Tears show a couple of weeks ago, people?
Yep.
I tried to tell you that he was a superstar.
All right, Steve. So with that in mind, I've got the Warriors in 6. Obviously, it sounds like you're taking Boston, but in how many?
Hey, look, man, I told you I like to see.
How many?
Like to see.
Give me a number.
I said if I got to do that, I'm gonna go 6.
All right, so we've got.
I like to see.
So there you go. So that's our NBA Finals wrap up, and now it's time to runneth over the cup. Hey, there he is. We got him back.
the man. What's going on, Jeff? How you doing, man?
How you doing, Steve? How did the reggae show go last week?
Great, man. Great.
Glad to have you, Jeff. And once again, Jeff is the host of the 5-Hole Hockey podcast. He and Bleener do a fantastic job over on that one. Check him out. And I think you guys are looking at kind of mirroring us a little bit, going into some video action maybe here moving soon, huh, Jeff?
Yeah, for season 2, we're absolutely going to be switching to video. Right now, we're just audio, but yeah, again, season 2, we've bought all the gear. We're ready to go.
All right, great job, Jeff, on the interview, man, with the Blues.
Did you listen to that?
Yes. Great job. Man, I wish I could have shot you some questions because I definitely had some. I'm an avid Blues fan. But great job, man. And then I really, really thank you, man, for stepping in last week, man. Great job.
Anytime, guys.
All right, let's get into it, partners in this case. Last night, the Rangers ended the NHL record for most consecutive wins after a Game 1 loss. Tampa Bay, going into last night, had that record with 18, and they get it done at home again. They take a 2-0 series lead over the two-time defending champs. I know we all watched this game. You guys give me your thoughts on it, and then I'll throw in my 2 cents.
2 out of the 3 Rangers goals were on Vasilevsky. I'm starting to wonder, especially after Game 1, if he's just mentally fatigued, if not physically as well.
Well, you know what I picked up, Jeff, is the way that the Rangers are moving the puck across the ice. They're getting cross shots, man, against him. They're really confusing Vasilevsky. I mean, I think the head-on shots, man, that's what he lives for. But the subtle adjustment that they made, and then I think that the blockers for not the Rangers,
the Lightning.
The Lightning. I think they're struggling up front in front of Vasilevsky. I just don't know, but I like what the Rangers are doing. I thought that they were physical. I sent Andy a message last week when they were in their last series. I said they're sending a message because those dudes weren't interested in skating anymore. They were trying to fight. They were trying to get back into the physicality route. But this definitely has carried over. And your boy Igor, he's the man right now, man. He's standing tall in that.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Steve. Great transition, by the way, just by chance, because Jeff, I was going to talk to you about this. This was what everybody was talking about in this series coming in, right? The Russian goalies, the battle of the Russian goalies. It didn't matter who scored on the front end. It didn't matter who was on the back end. It was all about the goalies. And to your point, Vasilevsky looks shook. He really does. And the fact that they found a weakness and they continue to exploit it, and that being the blocker side, I think he's going to have to take some extra shots in morning skate and figure that out, because they're going to continue to attack that in game 3, as they should. But now we go back to Tampa, and, do we pump the brakes? Was it just a little home ice comfort, or are the Lightning in serious trouble here?
Well, I didn't get the chance to make this point, but Lafreniere also hit 2 posts last game, right? Yep. So there was the 3 goals and 2 more that should have been in.
Should have been. That's a great point.
And you combine that with the 6 that went in game 1. I don't know, but if you're on the Tampa Bay Lightning, you've been here before. You were down in the Leafs series. You were down in a bunch of series over the last 2 years when you won 2 cups. I think you just stay the course.
Yeah, there's no way this is a quick series. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. They're just too talented. It's going to be at least 6. I've got the Rangers in 7. I think, Jeff, you agreed with me on that. Steve, I know you've got the Rangers as well. Oh, you got them in 5. All right. Steve says it's going to be a quick series. Okay. So I got a stat for you that might pertain to what Steve was talking about. Okay, you guys ready for this? I don't know if you saw this on the broadcast last night, but I'm going to steal it. Teams that go up 2-0 in the conference finals are 91-7 historically. That's a 93% success rate. So if you hear that, you might be a little scared if you're a Lightning fan right now.
Well, see that. Go ahead, Jeff.
I said I picked the Avalanche and the Rangers in the finals right from the outset. A lot of people have a lot of doubts of the Rangers, but I think those doubts have been squashed. Just in a Keeping It Real Sports newsflash, the Rangers are good. And
Thank you.
Yeah.
You think?
I had them beating Pittsburgh. I didn't have them beating them the way they did, but I had them beating Pittsburgh. I did not have them beating Carolina. I was against you on that one. I had Carolina going to the finals. So I had Carolina in this series, and then I had Carolina going through, only because they had home ice throughout. So I thought that would carry them, because up until game 6, or game 7, I should say, they were undefeated at home, and then they lost, which ended their season. But, moving on to the Western Conference, Jeff and I are on the same page. Steve, I think you're with us on this one, okay? Colorado is the real deal, folks. And I've told you, I've been telling you for weeks and months, and that this is the team to beat this year. They got a dominating 2-0 series lead heading into Canada in Game 3 tonight. Now, going back up to Edmonton will be a different story. I think Edmonton will not get swept, but ultimately I've got Colorado coming out and playing for the Stanley Cup.
Oilers head coach Jay Woodcroft has been the head coach in the NHL for 3 months, and he is being outcoached. He's showing his inexperience. How do you leave Koskinen? I'm sorry. How do you leave Mike Smith in and not put Koskinen in after that 5th goal? And then after you just let in 8, 7 of which were not Koskinen's fault, only 1. How do you not go back to Koskinen in game 2? And then how do you put Mike Smith back in for game 2? It's a coaching blunder, and it cost them the game.
Well, I think the reason for that is Koskinen is trash.
Koskinen stopped 20 out of 21 shots against a buzzing Colorado team that had already put in 6 goals.
Yeah, but that's why he stopped 20 out of 21, because he knew that the game was already over, so he could relax. When he's in a pressure situation, Jeff, he can't deliver. He's been in Edmonton for 6 years. He still has not won the number 1 job. He is not the solution. They just don't have a goalie, period. And that's exactly why I never thought they could get to the finals.
Guys, why isn't anyone talking about the biggest mistake that he's making? Is he's broken up his number 1 line. He's trying to get depth. I mean, what the hell are you doing? You put your best players on your first line and you let them go. I mean, that's what he's going to resort back to today. But you got to get that guy in your picture, man, with the second best player on the team together. That's been the key for success all season.
Steve's right. They had McDavid and Draisaitl on the same line for game 1, and the adjustment, I said they made the wrong one. They made 2 bad adjustments. Steve, you're dead on. Why would they break those 2 up? I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, it's but at the same time, none of us, come on, I don't care who you are, none of us saw Francouz getting a shutout in game 2. I just that was fluke to me. Now here's the thing: who's in net tonight if Kemper's available? What do you do?
Well, Kemper, he ain't exactly standing on his head either.
Well, that's
this
true.
Playoff series.
That's true.
I mean, Francouz is 4-0. Why not go back to him?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of can't put a guy that just got you a shutout on the bench, right?
And he's 4-0. I mean, he's every time he's been put in the net, he's got it done. You've got to give him the opportunity tonight.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let's just see if and he may have to be the guy going forward. We don't know the extent of Kemper's injury yet. So, Jeff, before I let you go, we heard this morning that the city of Tempe in Arizona and the Coyotes have tentatively agreed on a $2 billion renovation to keep the Coyotes in Arizona. Okay. So there's a caveat to that in the fact that Gary Bettman says, okay, you want to spend that kind of money to have one of my teams in your city? You're going to be there for 30 years and you're not allowed to go anywhere else. Otherwise, it's not happening. Thoughts on that real quick?
Anytime there's a new NHL-specific arena built, it's the same thing. They demand the commitment, and why wouldn't they? You have to. This isn't just going to be a hockey arena that's $2 billion. There's all kinds of other things associated with it to make it a full-blown business venture and make it worth it to the city of Tempe. I don't disagree with 30 years at all. I mean, you have to lock them in. They have to prove that they're committed and that they've got the funding to sustain this whole thing, because $2 billion is a lot of money.
The thing I'm perplexed by is this is not a hockey state, okay? If you can't make it happen in the main city, sports-wise, which is Phoenix, what the hell makes you think it's going to change if you go to Tempe?
No, I was surprised they didn't announce that the team will be moving to Houston. I'll be completely honest. Where there is the billionaire owner of the Rockets wants a team and has a building and has everything in place and he's ready to go. But for whatever reason, they've decided that they want to be committed to Arizona.
All right.
Out in the middle of nowhere where no one cares.
Well, yeah. Well, and the thing of it is, if they move to Houston, they can play in the same division, right? There's no realignment needed. It seemed like a perfect fit. I don't understand it, but that's the way they're going.
Well, nothing's finalized yet. So, but
Sure.
You're right. That's the trending, trending direction for sure. Hey, listen, Shrek, we appreciate you coming back.
Yeah, man. Yeah, sure. I got Donkey and Shrek in the house right here, man. I tell you. So, Jeff, just to reiterate, who you got tonight?
Avalanche.
You got the Avalanche tonight, and then tomorrow, who you like?
Actually, I'm gonna go with against my series pick, which is the Rangers. I think the Lightning bounce back. I think they take game 3.
I don't think it's gonna be a quick series. I agree wholeheartedly with Jeff's picks. The way Colorado's buzzing right now, it doesn't matter if they're home or away. They've got the better goalie, so yeah. I mean that's going to be a quick series.
I'm with Kenny Gibson. Let's go Rangers!
All right, listen, partner. We'll bring you back in when everything's final for the Stanley Cup. Okay.
Sandman and Steve, thank you for having me.
Man, anytime, man. Thank you so much.
All right, there you have it. That's Jeff Kuntz, the co-host of the 5-Hole Hockey Podcast. And Steve, we're coming up to the end of the show. As you can tell, my voice is not holding on too well. So, are you serious? Is it that time again?
You got one for us?
I got 2 for you, partner. Run the video.
No one has ever done that. No one has ever done that in the history of Dota.
Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious?
Are you serious?
All right, you gave us an extra quick hitter last week with this one, okay? But now I'm going to give you your real chance to tell us what the truth is and how it's going down. So I'm going to pass it over to you. Go ahead and handle your business, partner.
Well, you know what? Last week I kind of did not give you the entire backstory. I gave you part of it, and you guys based your take off of what I told you. But what I was trying to say was Tim Anderson did an interview with ESPN where he said he wanted to inspire kids, African-American kids of today, the way that Jackie Robinson inspired him. And Donaldson took it to the left totally, and he started to address Tim Anderson as Jackie. And when Tim Anderson said, "Don't do that, I don't like that," he continued to do so and doubled down. And he doesn't understand why, one, he was suspended by Major League Baseball. So if Major League Baseball suspended your ass, then evidently they must have felt there was something wrong with it. Number two, he doesn't have the backing of any of his teammates. Why? Because it was racially motivated. Your intent was. We're not talking about what you said. We're talking about your intent. And you know that your intent was intended to be very derogative. And that's why your ass was suspended by Major League Baseball. So for you to not understand why you didn't get support from your people and why you didn't get support from Major League Baseball, are you serious?
Very well spoken. And that was, I had to let you take the angle on that one because you've had experiences like that yourself, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I've witnessed them, in the time that we've known each other. But yeah, shut the hell up, Donaldson. Seriously. The fact that you were an Indian is a disgrace to me. People like that don't belong in professional sports. Let's get them out, period. What teammate is going to want to play with him for the rest of his career after
He's
that?
an idiot.
Speaking of idiots, okay? Throw the video up again.
No one has ever done that. No one has ever done that in the history of Dota.
Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious?
Are you serious?
We've got the NBA Finals going on. We've got the NHL playoffs going on. Oh, by the way, the ratings are higher than ever before. 1.76 million for TNT, 1.48 million for ESPN, 150,000 averaged increased viewership per game. Okay? And this numbnuts thinks people should be worried about soccer? Are you kidding me? Not enough Americans were in attendance in Cincinnati the other day, which I know caused you a lot of problems, friend, because you were down there yourself dealing with bullshit traffic for some stupid soccer game. It's not stupid because it's for the World Cup, but at the same time, this is America, Christian. We don't care about soccer until the World Cup actually starts. I got news for you. That's never going to change. You tried it with the MLS. How's that working out? Okay, you've lasted longer than I thought you would. So maybe you get a little bit of credit for the MLS, but please, it's soccer. This is America. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, boxing, MMA. I could keep going. All of those are up there before your sport. And you expecting more people to be in attendance? Are you serious?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I was in Cincinnati when they got a police escort to where they were playing, and they held up. I was trying to move equipment, and they affected us. But it's like I'm like, what the hell is going on? There's that soccer team. What soccer team? That goes to show you. And don't call it football, people, because it's soccer. There ain't no damn football. Football kicks off at 1:00 on Sundays.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
So
36 episodes, Steve. We got to do something special for number 40 coming up. You know that?
Well, we'll think of something. I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll come up with something, man. But I tell you what, man, that's another one in the books, man.
Yeah. And until next time, we wish you love
and peace. Deuces.